The Sandman. After years of imprisonment, Morpheus, the king of dreams, embarks on a journey across worlds to find what was stolen from him and restore his power. This 10 episodes drama and fantasy series, based on the comic book of the same name, written by Neil Gaiman and published by DC Comics from 1989 to 1996, has been developed for Netflix by David Goyer, Alan Heinberg, and Gaiman himself. Before we begin with our review, we inform you that we have not read any of these comics and we don't know anything about the character of Sandman, only what we have seen in the series presented on Netflix, and therefore we don't know if this production has been faithful to the original story previously presented in the comics. So, our review is based on what we have seen. To begin with, for us, this production has a story that we found it to be original, interesting and intriguing that kept us entertained enough from the beginning to the last episode. But that does not mean that we found it an excellent or a spectacular series as other people have. The first episode seemed to us somewhat complicated, confusing, messy, and with too many elements, somewhat exaggerated or difficult to understand or believe, even for this genre of productions. But at least the problem in terms of the complicated or confusing plot is rectified as the story progresses in the following episodes. Honestly speaking, from the very start, this series seemed to us to be a reflection of that controversial movement called woke. And in addition, the context of homosexuality is abused, as it's too overly prominent in this production. Please do not misunderstand us. We have nothing against the LGBT or gay community and on people considered minorities in the United States to be properly represented and included in productions of all kinds, whether it be in series or movies. But it should be done in a normal, realistic way, reflecting today's society and not in a way that could be seen as exaggerated, controversial, and even abusive, since it may seem that the producers of the series and Netflix want to impose their woke and homosexuality ideas or agenda on the viewer. Well, as we say, we found the use of homosexuality in the series exaggerated and is represented in several of the characters and in totally unnecessary scenes. Too many characters are homosexual, such as Alex Burgess, the son of Roderick Burgess, who's gay. Johanna Constantine, a character who was male in the original story, is now a woman and a lesbian. Desire is gay. Corinthian is bisexual or gay. Dream or Morpheus is not really clearly defined what he is, although they show that he was in a relationship with a woman in his past. Lucifer is shown as a manly woman or as an asexual or androgynous being, depending on how one sees it. Hal Carter is a gay and a drag queen. Then you have the lovers of Alex Burgess, of Constantine, and of Corinthian. And then there are the four secondary characters, the waitress, the cook, the girl, and the husband, presented in the episode that takes place inside the diner that turn out to be gay in the end. As for the homosexual scenes, which are several, for us, as we mentioned earlier, were not necessary and we did not like them. This production can be seen by minors, and it does not seem appropriate or a good thing for these types of scenes to be shown. Then there is the woke element that we found controversial in our opinion, which is the number of biracial relationships between black and white characters in the series, and how these are presented unlike other types of relationships. By the way, we are not interested in discussing the number of black actors in the cast of this production or whether it is wrong or good that they appear in the different eras or centuries that the story covers, but we understand that this aspect has been criticized by many other people who have seen it just as another example of wokeism. Why are the biracial relationships between blacks and whites in the series controversial to us? because these relationships, such as those of Alex Burgess, Johanna Constantine, Lita Hall, and the relationship of the princess of the British monarchy with a football player, are portrayed as having been loving, sweet, true, almost perfect, among other things, while relationships, especially that of white couples, are presented as ridiculous and fake, Ken and Barbie, dysfunctional and abusive, Barnaby and Clarice, that of a master and his servant lover, Roderick Burgess and Ethel Cripps, and of unrequited love, the waitress and the cook, who in the end turn out to be both gay. Only two same-race relationships are portrayed in a normal and realistic way, and they are that of the parents of Unity Kincaid and that of the parents of Rose and Jet Walker, both black couples. We did not like the above-mentioned aspects of the series, and for us, they detract credibility to the production. All the aspects mentioned and others that we have not covered or discussed have made this series a controversial production and has been harshly criticized by many people among film and television critics and fans of the Sandman comics. This is our honest and sincere opinion. Each person, as a spectator, has the right to come to their own conclusions about this matter. As for the production elements, such as the special effects, set designs, costumes, among others, they are all good, as are the performances of the entire cast that are usually credible, convincing, and realistic. So, this series, even with the aforementioned aspects that we did not like, kept us entertained until the end, and we found it to be good. That's why we give it 3 stars out of 5. Until next time.